Hello my people, now welcome back again to my channel. Now maybe the Warri Girl. If not today you dey come, God go bless you. Say you see this channel, I beg make you subscribe before you come out. And for now one still they come every day. Now God na go bless you now. I really appreciate everything one they do. But my people, I don't come again. Yes, I don't come. This one I not really can understand the way people they really talk these days. Una know say when all this issue they go on, many people they always come, they say Olu when they put not be legal something, na politics, na this, na that. So I hear another person they talk, because while they talk all this thing, I go put proofs today, una go still see am. You understand? So another person, I not go put their name so that they no feel bad. But if you want to see the comments they did there, they did for the comment section. Only you fit go find am, you go read am. Another person, the other video when I make say Olu of Warri advise Chief Ayirimi Emami to apologize, and he do like say nobody tell her anything. Somebody reply to that comment. He say, apologize for what? The matter is in court and needs to be interpreted. What becomes the future of the edict of 1979? Okay, no problem. I go put the video. Only you go see where Chief Ariyo explain the whole thing for Arise News TV. I go put am, then you go listen to wetin he talk, because me I don't know whether you be still lawyer. You understand? I don't know. So at least you know say when people rub mind together, if one dey wrong, that one must know say they wrong. I go put am for you. The issue they address am for there. So another person still talk again. He say this is legally, there is no legal Olu of Warri. Okay, you are extremely biased in your reporting. The person they talk to me now, a good lawyer will assist the court to declare whatever purported ceremony took place on 21st August 2021 as null and void and of no consequence. You understand? So now this person now me they tell say I dey bias for my reporting. For me to answer this person now, I beg, I no be shekiri when be like say you go think say I dey support one side, I no dey support one side. Even my own place I no dey support. If I see something, I go bring am the way I take see am. I beg, you hear? And I go still put am. That video go still answer your question concerning the issue of whether Benin na get Yoruba or Yoruba na get Benin, or na Benin na get Itshekiri, abi na Yoruba na get Itshekiri. They answer am for this one too. History I don dey read, not be say I don all the history one dey read since, because ma read wetin the person talk first. He said the fact that the Oba of Benin is not happy with the way you king came into power does not, I don't know whether na your king you want talk does not mean that you people should change your history, because I see you trying not to mention Benin Kingdom throughout your story, telling there is no way you people can have history with Egypt without Benin Kingdom. I believe say na the last history when I put now this person they refer to. My brother, you for try to read finish. They tell you say before, that's why they say pre, before the thing still there, go check am. So try go check am, my brother. The thing when I write for there, pre-Ginuwa history of the Itshekiri, okay? Before Ginuwa, neither they tell you. Before Ginuwa, they tell you now say Itshekiri they migrated from Egypt, ancient Egypt. So now this thing you need to understand. So if anybody they tell you say kingdom of great kingdom of Benin e not dey inside Itshekiri, I go still tell the person say na lie, because history strongly tell us forget anything when anybody wan claim. From history e dey very plain, black and white. E dey there say Benin from the, if you won't buy the book, the man name dey there. You fit order for that book, go buy am make you read am, the history of itshekiri. The man still write am, he put am for there say Benin shebi na dis Obalua e pikin when dem dey call Prince Ginuwa, na him na even go form the whole thing. So I no wan talk about the story, I wan address all this issue. So I go dey put the video, make una lis ten, make una hear. If you no understand, make you go buy that book, make you still read am. Okay, so I go see una for another video. Bye bye. Mona, not forget to subscribe to my channel. I will see you now again.
As the date set for the coronation of the 21st Olu of Warri in Delta State draws near, the dispute over the selection of Prince Shola Emiko as the Olu designate is far from over. Leading the charge against Prince Emiko's ascension to the throne is the Olu of Warri, Chief Ayirimi Emami, who has filed a lawsuit challenging Emiko's selection and his removal as the Olu by the Warri Council of Chiefs. Chief Ayiri has maintained that his stance is born out of the need for the Itshekiri people to strictly adhere to a 1979 edict of the defunct Bender State as applicable to present-day Delta State, which stipulates the process of ascension to the throne. With no end in sight to the dispute, we're now being joined from Warri by the Olu of Warri, Chief Brown Mene, and Chief Mene will be giving us the historical perspective of how the Olu of Warri is selected, while Chief Robinson Ariyo, a lawyer and the Egogo of Warri Kingdom, will give us his legal opinion on the 1979 edict. Good morning, gentlemen, and welcome to the morning show.
Good morning.
Good morning. Well, we've been on this subject for a while. We've spoken to the Olu, we've spoken to Amaju Pinnick. Yesterday, we also had a guest on the subject. But for me, the big concern is the legal part of it. And maybe in that regard, I should start with Chief Robinson Ariyo. Chief Ariyo, there is this 1979 edict that our guest yesterday was quoting. And he was saying that anybody whose mom is not from Itshekiri or Benin, of Benin, ancestry or descendancy, cannot be the Olu of Warri. That's the big argument he pushed forward. And I drew his attention to the fact that that would seem to contradict Section 42 of the 1999 Constitution of Nigeria. But he argued that the edict, the traditional rulers and Chief's edict of 1979 is superior to the Nigerian Constitution. You are a lawyer. Please, is that the position of the Olu Advisory Council?
Absolutely none, but I would like to start with some preliminary observations. Yesterday, I had the privilege of listening to that particular interview. I want to make clarification of concepts. First of all, it is not Itshekiri Kingdom, but Warri Kingdom. It is Itshekiri Nation. And very quickly, I also want to correct a widespread misconception about the two instruments we are talking about. One is an edict. The one that is being brandished is not an edict. It's not the edict itself. It's a declaration that was made pursuant to Section 8 of the edict. Now, it is important we get a distinction. Now, an edict is presumed to be an act of the legislature, but a declaration is an executive act. In other words, when you to edict, you will have to go back to the legislators that promulgated, that passed that edict into law, in which case you will have a bill for amending that edict. But in the case of a declaration, which is an executive act, it's a completely different ballgame. And let us understand something. We are mentioning edict. Edicts are legislations made under the military regime. When it is made by the state, it's called edict. When it's made by the federation, it's called decree. Now, where we are today, we ought not to be referring to edict anymore because there is currently a law, a Delta State law, that captures, that is a domestication of the intent, purpose, and wordings of that same law. It is done verbatim. And I have it here with me, if it is possible to show it to the viewers. So this is the law we should be citing. And this law, like the edict, is different from the declaration. The law, like the edict, is meant for all the tribes in the old Bendel state and applicable in Delta state. But the declaration is Itshekiri specific. In other words, we were required, now like all students of law know, custom and tradition are characteristically unwritten. Now, in an attempt by Nigeria to ensure some certainty, to have this custom and tradition codified, you have such edict and such law as in question. So, but there is a widespread misconception about that declaration. The declaration itself is the making of the people. The edict empowered the declaration, and it is written, surprisingly enough, it is clearly written on top of the declaration that this declaration is made pursuant to section 8. Now, what that means is that the edict empowered the making of the declaration. Who were those that made the declaration? Some individuals from each tribe are required to put together, to assist the government to put together the process of succession of their kings. And so what happened in this case was that about 7 pages of memorandum was put together, and from there was extracted just that about 10 paragraph declaration. And the procedure of amending this is also contained in the law. Like I said, this law, which is what we should be citing now, is what replaces that. In the first place, we no longer have Bendel state. In the second place, we no longer have military regime. So it is an anomaly to start talking about edict when there is a law. And you don't call that declaration a law. You don't call it an edict. It is what it is, a declaration, an executive act. So it's a product of the executive and not a product of the legislature. Now, having said that, now it is also an anomaly for anybody to say, anybody who is enlightened to say that the constitution of a country like Nigeria in certain conduct, certain people. That is absolutely not the case. If you look at section 1, subsection 3 of the Constitution, to the extent that even a law made by the state government, even a law made by the National Assembly, where it is found to be inconsistent with the provision of the Constitution, it will to that extent be null and void. Secondly, only recently, I think about last year, there is this age-long custom and tradition. Let us now be customary law specific. Age-long custom and tradition in the East that prohibits females from inheriting from the estate of their deceased father. The Supreme Court, in a well-researched judgment. Pardon?
Please go ahead.
Pardon?
Go ahead, please.
In a well-considered judgment, held that that practice was inconsistent with section 42, subsection 1 and 2 of the Constitution, and therefore set it aside. So as of today, women who were unable to inherit from their father's property several decades ago can now do so. So it is a complete anomaly to say that the Constitution does not apply to custom and tradition. Now, to what extent does it apply to our custom and tradition? To the extent that you look at the children of a particular father. If I'm not the child of the owner of an estate, there is no way I can present myself to inherit from it. Now, nobody, historians will agree with me, that the aboriginal founders of Warri Kingdom were about 5 communities, all of whom migrated from Yoruba land. And so to that extent, you have one of the children of Itshekiri, in that sense, being Yoruba. Of course, there were also migration from the Benin Kingdom, Guinea the First, which means you have another son called Edo. And again, you have the itshekiris. And so when you have 3 children and now you want to allocate benefit and entitlement, including the possibility and the right to ascend to the throne, you cannot interpret any instrument to the extent of disenfranchising one of these children, except you tell me that the history has told us is incorrect. Now, the next stage is, I hear a lot of people say, Bini, 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 Bini. You see, it reminds me of the saying that if you want to hide something from Nigerians, write it in a book. The wordings in that declaration is not Benin. The wordings are quite more extensive than Benin. Of Edo origin, that's the phrase, of Edo origin, which means that all we have done so far, as a matter of fact, has been consistent, strictly consistent with the declaration itself. Now, the Oba of Benin, the current Oba of Benin, during his coronation, he said, and I quote, that the Benin people recognize their origin being of Oduduwa from Ile-Ife. Okay? Now, what that tells you is simple. It's an elementary history that all Yorubas trace their origin to Ile-Ife. Therefore, if we go to the declaration clearly and read what is there and not import into it what is not there. For instance, I heard you on your program yesterday using the word Benin, and that is the misconception that many people have continued to use. It is of Edo origin. I read paragraph 4. It's clearly stated here. You know, the Chinese man will say the faintest ink is sharper than the sharpest memory. It says that to qualify, a candidate's mother must be an itshekiris or of Edo origin, and his father must be itshekiris. And so, let us carefully look at it. The Oba of Benin has already told us the origin of Edo. Okay? And now we have a situation where the gentleman, the Omoba, of course his father is itshekiris, no question about that. Then you now say, because you want to interpret this document to say because the mother is Yoruba and therefore he is disqualified. It does not come in by logic at all, because the phrase of Edo origin is far, far wider than just Benin. And so that is the thought a lot of people have not given to this. Now in 2015, when this issue arose, I was not very familiar with the Omoba then. But as a lawyer, I'm not supposed to litigation. I had expressed this position to a lot of my friends that the wordings here is of Edo origin. Let's stop replacing it with Benin. We are rewriting what is clearly written. So my interpretation of Edo origin is very clear. Look at the oral tradition. The historians will tell you one of two things: that Benin is either from Edo or Edo is from
Benin.
Yoruba. That Yoruba is either from Benin or Benin is from Yoruba. So, but the link is very, very clear. Some of the books will say no, it is Benin, it's Edo that is from Yoruba. Others will say no, it is Yoruba that is from Edo. Whether it is 6 or half a dozen, we are saying one and the same thing. So anybody who paints the picture that all that we have been doing is not to follow this declaration, the person cannot be farther from the truth. We have followed this declaration to the latter, word for word. If there is anybody who has not followed this, I urge you to go to the social media. I urge you to do a simple research and find out the popularity of this gentleman, the acceptance of this gentleman. After all, what is custom? Custom is accepted usage of a people over a period of time. Now, a king will come and reign over a people. A king cannot exist in isolation. And the voice of the people is the voice of God. And so, I hope I've been able to... Hello?
Yes,
yeah, I've been able to make a lot of clarification so far.
So my people now don't hear am now. And so now don't hear am so. That Chief Robinson Ariyo na lawyer na the man be. So if una wan watch the full video, una fit go Arise News. Una go watch the full video. So na some I fit use, I no fit use the full video. So my people, like wetin I dey talk, abeg anybody, me I no be lawyer, but if you disagree with that the answer when the chief give, abeg e be like say you go just kukuma join bros Ayirimi Emami, you go kukuma join am go court, so that una go dey the same side, una go judge the case well against Olu of Warri, because I no get another thing wey I go fit talk take convince anybody. I no know how the law be o. I no know how e be. So na people wey make law, una don hear from their mouth. So if you wan watch the full interview, you head to their channel, go watch am for Arise News. And if you wan get that book, type am for Amazon, you go get am, you go buy am. Go buy am, make you read about your history, so that not be everything when person tell you, you go dey take. Okay, I go see you now for another video. Abeg una subscribe to my channel. Bye.